Morning children, I am your English teacher. In my previous video, I have started the second chapter of your Gulmohar book, that is the wild duck. Now children, we have completed till for 13th stanza in my first video, and today we will complete the full lesson. Before going to the next para, that is the 14th para, I will give you a brief summary of what we have read till now. Okay, this is a touching story about a father and a son. The father takes his son hunting to teach him to shoot down the wild ducks, the teals. But the son teaches the father a lesson in caring for life instead of destroying it. Children, I have missed one thing. I want to tell you something, that in the bygone days, hunting was regarded as a sport, but nowadays it is considered as illegal. So children, nowadays hunting is illegal. This is a story of the olden days. So hunting, it is about hunting. The father and the son sail down a stream in the late afternoon. Both of them have guns ready to shoot down the ducks as countless of them fly in a formation. The father is hasty and shoots at the birds without aiming at any one of them in particular. He is overconfident. He thinks he will surely kill a few at least, but he does not get any. On the other hand, the son aims carefully. The leader of the group and shoots it. Now children, let us read from the 14th stanza. They all land here on the lake. They look too high. I think they are aiming for somewhere else. Who decides? They know. This children, this is the dialogue shared between the father and the son. Okay. Then they are overhead. The sky filled with masses of birds in flight. A flurry of bird calls. Children, a flurry of bird calls means a number of bird calls at once in a very short time. Okay, the father and the son looked at each other. Here goes. The man undid his safety catch and started firing, throwing buckshot at the sky. Children, buckshot means many small balls of metal fired from a shotgun. The explosions shook the boat. The rake rippled. Children, ripple means a small wave on the surface of water. So the lake rippled. The gun empty. Too high. They are flying much too high. His son slowly raised his rifle. He had a more patient and steady hand. He picked a single speck out of the mass in the sky, the leader of a formation flying towards them. He aimed and fired. The speck plummeted. Children, plummeted means fell very fast. Okay, you got the leader. The man cheered. Another bird swiftly took its place. They were all leaders by instinct. By instinct means naturally. Okay, children, in the way animals naturally behave. I want to find it. That boy put down his rifle and took the paddle. Did you see where? It fell just behind the bulrushes. Bulrushes are plants with tall stems that grow near rivers and lakes. Okay, children, go round that way. The boy moved the boat against the tide of teal, still wheeling overhead. His arms trembled as he pulled the paddle through the black water. The birds moved forward as they continued flying, while the man and his son had to row the boat backwards to find the bird that had fallen and been left behind. Hence, they are rowing in a opposite direction. The boy moved the boat against the tide of teal while wheeling overhead. And children, his arms trembled. Why the boy's hand trembled? Because He was excited that he had shot the bird down. Okay, now we will go to the 25th para of the chapter. I think I can see it, he said, leaning forward. There was a lump floating on the water. On it was a broken wing, pointing at the sky like the ragged sail of a toy boat. The boy lifted the paddle and they glided up to it. He bent over the side and scooped it up. Well done, the man said. The sun was silent. The duck was big, helpless. Touching its soft feathers and its thin bony neck, the boy looked frightened at what he had done. Then the duck lifted up its head. Look, it's not dead. The blood seemed to flow again in the boy's arms. He breathed in relief. The duck looked blank. The boy stroked its head. I want to go home. You will have to look after it. I know, I want to. At home, the boy bandaged the wing and learned to feed the maimed duck. Children, maimed means injured. Injured duck. He spent hours watching it waddle about the backyard. Waddle means walk with short steps. Sometimes it would stretch its neck and try to flap its lopsided wings. Lopsided wings means, children, not equally balanced wings. But it could never fly again. One day the man asked his son, "Where is the gun?" "I threw it away," he said defiantly. Defiantly means boldly refused to obey. He said defiantly. "You what?" asked the man, shocked at his son's boldness. "It was mine. I gave it to you gave it to me. But it didn't kill your duck. It gave you your duck. It made me sick." The man felt the blood pumping in his head, and then he was filled with a sense of peace. He he was relieved the gun had gone. Now, children, your chapter is complete. Now I will make you understand what we have read till now. So, children, we have read till the sun aimed and the leader of the group was shot down. Now both of them watched the rest of the birds fly away in the same formation as before, with another bird leading them. It looked as if they know how not to be shaken up in the crisis but to move on. The birds, we are talking about the teals, the ducks. The boy wanted to know what happened to the bird he shot. He rows the boat to where the duck had fallen and finds it alive and bleeding. He had shot at its wing and he learns that he could never fly again. He is shocked that he has maimed the bird. He is ashamed of his ability to destroy. He decides that he will look after the bird and brings it to home to care for it as his pet. He is sad the duck would never fly again like the rest of the flock, but he is glad that it would be alive and safe in his home. The boy learns his lesson. He decides he would never go hunting again, though he had gone with his father to learn the pleasure of hunting. He realizes that there is no joy in killing or maiming anything in the wild. When the father asks what he did with the gun, he replies that he had thrown it away. His father is shocked at first. He is angry that his son had thrown away a valuable gift. But he realizes later that he had set out to teach his son the joy of hunting to kill. Instead, his son had learned a better lesson, the joy of caring to heal. The father learns from his son how to value life, and this makes him happy. So, instead of the father teaching the pleasure of hunting to kill, the son taught the father the joy of respecting life. So children, this was all about this story, and you all have to learn the word meanings given on the left side of every page of this chapter. You can see here, in every chapter on the left side you have some difficult words given and the meanings given. You have to learn all those word meanings and read the chapter thoroughly. Okay children, see you in my next video.